Today I'm going to be sharing how I make my thumbnails.
No basic zone.
What's up, Stush Gang? It's your girl Stushy back with another video. So today I'm going to be sharing how I make my thumbnails. So if you're interested in watching, stay tuned. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you ring the bell and also give this video a big thumbs up because I'm going to be sharing some of my tips and tricks of creating a nice eye-catching thumbnail. I'll be making this thumbnail from start to finish on my iPhone. So go ahead and take out your notepad to write down the apps that you're going to need and also to take notes. I'll also go ahead and leave the apps that I use today down in the description box, so go ahead and check that out. But we are going to be using Superimpose X and Fonto. You can also count the Safari app, but it's just the internet. And with no further ado, let's get into it. Okay, let's start working on this thummy, as I like to call it. I'm going to open up Superimpose X. There is a free version. I'm going to be using the premium version, which I believe is $4.99. You got to invest in your channel, and this is a great app to start off with. So I'm going to choose 2 photos from a look that I recently recorded, and for the second picture I'm going to make sure to set the size to match the first by clicking adjust to canvas size. Now I'm going to add a color layer. I eventually just ended up choosing a color theme or a color scheme that matched my makeup look, and I chose the dimension 16:9 just so that it matches up with the headshots that we already have down. I'm also going to go ahead and rearrange some of the layers and duplicate one of the headshots and set it as the last layer. Don't worry, I'll explain why in a little bit. Now I'm going to use the mask tool for both headshots and select auto mask to remove the background. So I chose 2 headshots because auto mask does a pretty decent job of keeping the silhouette of a person over like a random object. It'll make a lot more sense when you start to play around with the app to understand what I really mean. But then I'm going to go ahead and hide the second headshot and clean up the first by erasing pieces of the background that still needed to be erased because, as I said, auto mask does a decent job. Sometimes it doesn't get rid of every single piece of the background. So this is where making the thumbnail can get pretty tedious, especially if you're holding an object that needs to be highlighted in the thumbnail. Just push through. Just take your time, and I'll be doing this for both of the headshots, removing the background and just cleaning it up a bit. So now for some fun. I don't use this technique on all of my thumbnails, but I guess it just really depends on the vibe that I'm going for the thumbnail. So I'm gonna add I'm gonna cast a shadow on both of the headshots just to make them look a little bit more 3-dimensional. You can play around with the colors and just make it fit the aesthetic of your channel. So the next step is optional as well. I do this every now and then, but I'm going to reduce the opacity of the pink background so that the layer underneath can peek through just a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see what I mean in the video, but this is why I went ahead and duplicated it in the first place. Remember when I said I'd get back to it? This is me getting back to it. So it just adds a bit more dimension. You can go ahead and skip this step. Now for some more fun and dimension, I'm going to outline one of the headshots doing a mask outline. You can change the color up of the outline if you want. I'm just going to leave it white. You can do both pictures or one or none. So it's really up to you. Just play around with it and make it fun. Now this is another step that you can skip. I'm going to adjust the lighting a bit for the two headshots. I like to do this every now and then. By playing with the lighting, this can also make your thumbnail a little bit more eye-catching. So I go ahead and do this step every now and then, depending on if the photos look a little bit too dark. Now I'm jumping over to Safari and I'm going to search for a red heart. Make sure, well, a red heart emoji. Make sure you put PNG at the end so that you find a picture without a background. So I want to spice the thumbnail up a little bit more. So you don't need to do any of these steps. Just look at the thumbnail, and if you feel like it needs a little bit more, then add a little bit more. But I'm going to save the emoji and head back over to Superimpose X, and I'm going to add 2 hearts and try to strategically place them in the background. Once I'm satisfied, I'm going to go ahead and save the image as a PNG, and then I'm going to hop into Fonto, which is one of my favorite apps. I've spoken about this app many times on my YouTube platform, so if you haven't already downloaded it, go ahead and download it. Now I'm going to open up our thumbnail. I'm just going to add some text and play around with the spacing, the stroke, and the style, and then once I'm satisfied, I'm going to go ahead and save it. And our thumbnail is ready, and voila, this is what the finished product looks like. So let me know down below if you guys like this thumbnail. Honestly, thumbnails can take me roughly 10 minutes, sometimes 35 minutes. It really just depends on what kind of vibe I'm going for the thumbnail. But let me know if I made this video easy enough to follow along. I speak really fast on the daily, so I really try my best to slow it down without dragging it. And to be honest, I suck at voiceover. So there will be some bloopers at the end, so make sure you stay tuned until after the outro. But yes, please leave your thoughts down below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to leave me a thumbs up so that I can continue to create similar content like this for you guys. Subscribe, of course, to join the Stush Gang, and ring the bell so that way you will be in the know. And until next time, until next upload, until next video, until next post, I'll see you guys all later. Bye, guys. Wait, stay for the bloopers. Okay, bye. Make sure you put PNG at the back. Make sure you put PNG at the end just to make sure you find, just so that you can. In Fonto, I'm upping. Now I'm gonna, because sometimes when I take, I just see a mosquito. Okay. But this is why I went. Now I'm gonna, we already have down in the document, or down in the, I have down in the app. You can also count this far, and but we are going to be using Superimpose X. Stay till the outro. Wait, stay till the blooper. Wait.